Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. I was talking to a couple different friends today. We were talking about education, the schools, the children, some of the problems there. And then all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks. If you go back and study history, back in the olden days, the days of the one-room schoolhouse, and you watch how things progressed, you'll notice that as the government got more involved and more involved and more involved, education took a nosedive. As government overall grew, our lives taking a nosedive. Bigger the government, the less well off the people are. This is something to think about. And beyond that, I was listening to a radio show, and it was real interesting. They were saying that how for people on Social Security, which means they worked and they paid into the system, that their benefits have only gone up about 1%, even though we all know inflation has gone up and the price of things like milk, eggs, butter, gasoline, electricity, water, they've all gone up more than 1%. But the people on food stamps, their food stamp allotment, and once again, if they're on food stamps, they're not paying into the system in most cases, has gone up over 30%. What's wrong with that picture? You see, I think somebody said government is the problem. It's not. Yet, these government officials, over and over again, try to come up with solutions, when usually they're a problem. You know, it's funny because most people who work for the government are just regular folk. For the most part, they want to do a good job. Sure, there's always that gruff DMV employee who seems to be a bit rude, but then again, dealing with the general public day in and day out probably would get on your last nerve pretty quick too. But the point is, I think most of them are sincere and that they want to do a good job, and that they try hard. Problem is, a lot of times, people running the deal, the bosses, the elected officials in charge, who make the bonehead decisions that the underlings have to carry out. They don't believe in the people can figure things out on their own. They've got to get in there and micromanage. You know, usually it's like city councilors or county commissioners, that they got to make all the decisions. And the managers don't really manage. They just do what the commissioners tell them to do. Because if they want to do, if they try and do something on their own, they get their hands smacked. It's just the nature of the beast in government. But the main thing, my fellow Americans, is to realize that we need to shrink the government monster. This is probably not anything new, but when you look at the facts, the statistics, you analyze the data, it just leads you to one conclusion, that the bigger the government has gotten, the worse off we the people are. I mean, can somebody refute that? Can somebody cite one example where the bigger the government, the better it is for the people? Just need to shrink the government. Seems like the government just wants to do so much, when really, the only thing we need government for is to protect our borders, which it doesn't. You know, have a police force to fight crime within, which once again pretty ineffective. And then have a justice system where if you and I have a squabble, we can go to civil court and get that rectified. And that's kind of iffy too. So government really isn't good at the job that it's really intended to do. And so why do these elected officials think that they can do even more? Get involved in things that they have no business involved in the first place? I mean, it's just really funny how these people in government, they're almost like religious fanatics. They have such strong faith in what they're doing, even though the facts, the results show that it doesn't work. They just keep going forward. It's ludicrous. And they put the spin on it, and I guess they fool most of the people most of the time because they keep getting reelected. But I mean, they'll go on TV in front of the cameras and tell you Obamacare is working. Even though it's not. Oh no, they'll tell you that this is working or that's working, even though it's not. I mean, this great political spin machine that we have. Somebody needs to put a monkey wrench in it and stop it. They really do. So, my fellow Americans, you have to get out there and do something about it. This is an election year. Time to talk to your neighbors, your friends, your family. Get them involved, especially if they haven't been. Now, talk to people in the grocery store checkout line. Find out if they vote. If not, say, hey, come on, let's just go out and vote this year. Vote for anybody but a Republican or a Democrat. Let's throw the bums out. Get some new blood in there. But on the other hand, it's not all our fault. We are responsible for our choices and actions, but they have such powerful ways programming our brains, making us believe what they want us to believe, making us see what they want us to see, like a magician. Look over here while they do something over here. It's all setups and deception. We, the people, have to become a little bit smarter. It's tough. We've been dumbed down. Generations coming out of schools have been so dumbed down, and their parents were dumbed down. You'd have to go back to their grandparents, which might be us, or to our parents, before you can see how the dumbing down that isn't as prevalent. You can see, watch it on TV. You can see the icons. Who's held up as heroes? I mean, compare and contrast. Sad commentary. Sometimes I think I sound like my father. He used to tell me I looked like a bum because I'd dress in blue jeans. Even though they were blue, they were new, didn't have any holes or patches or rips or tears. He thought I looked like a bum because I wasn't dressed in dress slacks. Different standards. Something to be said, though. Because we've let things slip away. Let things get perverted. And the true definition of perverted. This country has become perverted. As Prince says, this country needs an enema. We need to get the crap out. What we really need to do, my fellow Americans, is to wake up and smell the tyranny.